Hi, I'm Christina.
And I'm Christine. Welcome to Stereo Thematica.
Music is the heartbeat of our lives and the connective tissue of our friendship. Christine and I met at work in LA, but when I moved to Texas, we started a weekly challenge. Pick a song that fits a chosen theme.
This game opened us to new perspectives on each other and deepened our understanding of the songs that shape our lives. Each week, we recreate the magic of our song exchange on a broader scale. Hey, Christina.
Hey, what's up?
I just had a Celsius.
Wow.
Okay,
what time is it?
Too late. No, I didn't just have one. I had one a couple hours ago, but I'm feeling it in my heart right now. But you know how last week we talked about in Sabina Shuba's song, I drank a lot of coffee only to be tired? Yeah. I'm kind of having that feeling. I'm amped and yet a little exhausted. I think I'm exhausted from being so amped.
Okay. Can you explain to our listeners who might not know what Celsius is?
So Celsius is like, I don't even know what's going on in that drink, but
Me neither, for sure.
It's a form of caffeine, but it's like a Red Bull.
It's like taurine, right?
Yeah, exactly, which is Red Bull.
How did you find out about this drink?
So, as you know, we listened to this podcast together, R.I.P. Poog.
RIP.
Poog was a podcast by some of our favorite comedians, Jacqueline Novak.
And Kate
Berlant. And they would just talk about beauty products, life. Yeah, and it was so enjoyable. And every time I would recommend it to somebody, they'd be like, I couldn't get into it.
Well, the funniest thing is my friend recommended it to me and I was like, bitch, do you subscribe to this? Because at first I was like, they were talking about just crazy, chaotic, like health woo-woo stuff. It was very LA coded, as the kids say.
Yeah.
But then the more you listen to it, the more you realize they're just two hilarious comedians who are like just trying to beg for free products, which is, but they both love Celsius.
Yes. Well, especially Jacqueline. She would be like
for sure.
amped up on it almost every episode. And since I was a little tired, I thought I would like drink that and channel her, but I don't know. It's working against me, I think.
I love how you gifted me a Celsius by putting it underneath a tissue and drawing little eyes on it to make it look like a ghost.
A ghost, yes.
You left it outside of my office, which was really hilarious. And then I was too scared to drink it for probably months because I'm afraid of energy drinks. I am so impressed that you had one today.
Well, okay. You know what? It was half.
Oh, okay. Truth comes out.
Yes. The truth is I don't think I could handle a full Celsius without losing my mind.
Because you also drink coffee, right? Did you have coffee this morning?
I did have coffee this morning.
And then a Celsius.
Yes.
Wow.
As a final pick-me-up. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how I do. If I crash, if I have a heart attack, if I can sleep tonight.
If you are feeling tired at any point in the episode, do you give me permission to scream into the mic?
Please, yes. Okay. I have a feeling you'll scream at some point.
God, that would be so cool.
Anyway, should we get into the theme before I crash?
I suppose so.
Okay, so nostalgia. Now, there's a kind of nostalgia that doesn't necessarily come from memory, but from longing. It's not about your past exactly, but someone's past, or maybe a version of the past you've imagined. Christina, I feel like you immediately got the theme and it resonated. Care to talk about that?
Yeah, I'm really glad that the way that you had it in mind was exactly how I received it because, like, there are songs that make me feel a lot of nostalgia that, like, for a time that I've lived and experienced. Like, I hear a song and I think of, living in Austin, living in LA, like, being with friends or whatever. But that's not how I picked up on this. I felt more like a song that's inherently so nostalgic. Or maybe that's, I don't know. Do I get it?
I think you do. I mean, at least based on the song you shared, you definitely got it. Well, no surprise. The Germans have a word for this, the nostalgia for something that you have not experienced, or something to that effect. It's sehnsucht, and it captures the feeling of nostalgia for a time that one hasn't lived through, kind of encompassing a complex yearning for an idealized past or a different life experience, even if one's never personally lived that experience. And today, actually, I learned that there's another word coined in 2012 by an American writer, John Koenig, for his book, The Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it, but I don't think I've ever read it.
Okay. So he basically invented poetic words for emotions we feel but don't have names for, in English at least. And like that specific nostalgia for a time you never lived, he calls that anemoia.
Oh,
Yeah,
I like that.
I know.
But it's a
So,
made-up word, made up by him.
I mean, it's made up, but it's also based in Greek.
All words are made up.
Yes,
Let's just clarify that.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
but he coined it.
Yes, he did coin that, and
Okay,
it's in, and we'll share this. It's very cool. Because I just learned about it today, I don't know enough to like really talk about it, but we'll share it, and I'm kind of curious to see what other words he's made up.
Me too.
For these sorrows, because I think there are so many, like such a range of emotions that we're like experiencing, especially through music, and English not necessarily word for all of them, those emotions that we're going through. No. Anyway, so this anemoia is exactly how I feel when I hear the Korean song Haenim by Kim Jong-mi. 하얀 물결 위에 빨갛게 비추는. These opening two lines really set the tone, and you don't need to know the lyrics to get the vibe, I think, but she's basically singing about a red reflection on white waves. Yeah, are you feeling that from
I mean,
that
thank
opening
you for
part?
letting me stop doing my Korean Duolingo for this episode. Just kidding. But I didn't look up the translation of the lyrics. I just felt the vibes.
Yeah, and I think truly you don't need that. And I think for nostalgia, like to get that nostalgia, it is a feelings-based emotion. So you don't really need to know exactly what they're saying as long as that like soulfulness is conveyed.
Yeah. It's kind of like, and everybody who goes to the opera probably doesn't speak
for sure.
like Italian or German or whatever. You can still feel the emotion.
Yeah. And like you're not paying attention to the super title. Now they have like the titles above, but it's like I will never look at that because you miss what's on the stage and you miss what's coming through from the singers and the actors. So hey in Korean is sun. And when you add nim to a word, it gives it an honorific. So it's kind of like saying Mr. Sun, which is really cute. Yeah. And the song is about heading toward the smiling sun into an eternal place of warmth and joy.
Wow.
Yeah. Kind of beautiful. And for historical context, this was released in 1973 in South Korea. And this is during the early years of Park Chung-hee's dictatorship. So Park was president from 63 until he was assassinated in 79. Yeah, that's a long time. And not so fun fact, his daughter was president from 2013 until she was impeached and removed from office in 2017. And I actually met her.
Oh, wow.
She came to LA in 2013, and the mayor at the time, Mayor Villaraigosa, he hosted a luncheon for her. And you know who else was there? Elon Musk.
Ew.
So, yes.
Cursed.
So I was in the presence of an impeached
oh my God.
president and Elon Musk. Yeah, kind of crazy.
That's scary. Weird.
Yeah. But anyway, so this is like Korea in the 70s was a time when artists faced a lot of censorship, surveillance, and like the threat of prosecution for anything that was deemed subversive. And a lot of things were deemed subversive. And actually, there's a Korean word for the kind of longing we're feeling in the song. At least I'm feeling it. And I imagine the kind of longing that Kim Jong-mi was feeling during that era. And the word is Han, H-A-N. Han means something deeper than sadness. It's more like a soulful ache, a yearning. It can be personal, historical, or collective. And you might feel Han because of loss or injustice. A generation can carry Han from war, colonialization, cultural suppression. Artists can express Han through restrained beauty with a sadness that lingers. Koreans often speak of Han as being inherited. Even young people who haven't lived through trauma can feel it in their bones, and it's passed down through family stories, history, and even like the landscape. And I feel like, the song, it's 7 minutes of Han, and it really reaches the crescendo about 2/3 in. It's a weaving of personal and collective Han, and I think that really cements Kim's legacy as one of the voices who gave form to Korea's unspoken sorrows and hopes. Kim got her start in music only a couple years earlier in 1971, and she was a senior in high school. She joined the legendary guitarist Shin Jung-hyun's band. He actually produced the album Now and wrote many of the songs. Sadly, Kim's career was abruptly halted in 1977 due to a politically charged arrest for possession of marijuana. Can you believe that?
No.
And
geez.
yeah, and it led to her music being banned.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
That's so petty.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And since it's been released by various labels, and in 2011, the album was reissued by the American label Light in the Attic. You know that label?
Yeah, I have to talk to you about Light in the Attic. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, tell me.
In my pick.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
This is a crazy crossover. Yeah.
Oh, crazy. Okay. Well, I mean, just the 2011 reissue from Light in the Attic really helped Haenim and specifically Kim Jung-mi and the album Now reach just a much wider non-Korean audience. And another song of hers from the same album called Spring is featured in the opening credits of a Korean drama, When Life Gives You Tangerines.
That's a cute name.
That whole album is just so beautiful. And we'll share the opening credit sequence from the drama. Haenim actually ranks number 30 on Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Korean Songs in the history of Korean pop music. Wow. And it really, it's such a landmark of Korean folk psychedelia, and it captures a transcendent sense of peace and connection to nature and kind of always leaves me yearning for a moment I knew and yet didn't. So, yeah.
That's deep.
I just love this song so much. And I feel like, I don't know, it brings me to this special place that never was, and maybe never was for Kim Jung-mi either. But I'm excited to get to your pick because...
Before we do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How much, because I know that you have some understanding of the Korean language. How much of the lyrics do you understand, if any?
I feel like I have truly, I need to read the lyrics, but when I'm reading the translation, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I get these words. It's still a very hard language for me.
Yeah.
And because it's been 7 years that I haven't had much interaction with it, but it's hard to say percentage-wise.
Oh, you don't have to give a percentage. To me, it's really powerful that you can have that feeling and attachment to a song, even though the lyrics are very foreign. It's in a foreign language, of course, a language that you don't have fluency in. So I think that says something about the power of the song.
For sure. And the thing is, I can read the lyrics very slowly and carefully, and then oh, okay, yeah, that's beautiful. But it's not about the lyrics to me, this song. It's a super, in a way, trippy, hippie type song if you read the lyrics. But yeah, it's so much more. It's the voice. It's the pauses. It's the guitar. It's just so much.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I love this song. Thank you for sharing it with me and us.
Yeah, of course.
So I might have been pandering to you a little bit with my pick, but it is definitely, well, you'll find out in just a moment. But it's definitely, this is a nostalgia, I would call nostalgia core for me. And it's funny, we were saying earlier, it's not a song I feel personal nostalgia for. It doesn't remind me a time or a point in my life or anything, but that secondhand nostalgia or whatever you said earlier more poignantly. But it's a song to me that has so much emotion that it's I think it would be impossible not to feel moved by this song. If you hear it and you feel unmoved, don't tell me because I'm going to be really worried about you. But it is from a relatively unknown artist, which is part of the reason why it moves me so much. And my pick this week is Something on Your Mind by Karen Dalton.
Yesterday, anyway you made it was just fine.
Karen Dalton had a pretty rough life. She was born in Texas but raised in Oklahoma and ended up getting divorced 2 times by the age of 21. And eventually she died of AIDS in 93 at the age of 55 after battling addiction and retreating from the public eye. So it's not fair for me to say that's the story of her life. It's absolutely not. It's just like the difficult circumstances that like I became aware of when I found out about this artist, because to me, she was kind of like an obscure artist. And when I heard her music, I just was like, why don't more people know about her? Because I think she's a powerful singer and musician. So I think her life and some of that hardship did influence her music and in my opinion, her like haunting and beautiful voice. So Karen, she plays a 12-string guitar and long neck banjo, which she learned how to play when she was young, growing up in Oklahoma. And even though she performed for 3 decades, she only ended up releasing 2 albums during her lifetime, both at the start of the 70s. And she actually didn't write a lot of the lyrics in many of the songs that I know and love by her, but there was an album that was released in 2015 called Remembering Mountains Unheard Songs by Karen Dalton that was released in 2015 by folk label Tompkins Square. So this is not Light in the Attic, but I'll get there. The reason why I felt like I was pandering is because Bob Dylan actually called her one of his favorite singers. And I know how you love Dylan.
Yeah, I know. And I feel shame. I feel shame for not knowing this.
That's okay, because it's a deep cut, but he did write in his memoir. And how many memoirs does Bob Dylan have?
Well, I think this one is referring to his 2004 memoir, which I have not read. And that weirdly comes from like, I think this anti-nostalgia or like fear of reading something in a different time. Because I was obsessed with him specifically and still love him. But that era of obsession was when I was very young. And I worry that by reading his book now or even in 2004 or whenever, I will not have that same appreciation for him.
Yeah,
and
I know what you mean.
So there is a resistance to see him in concert, to read things about him, new things about him.
Preserve
preserve the memory. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But anyway, back to Bob and his memoir. He wrote, "My favorite singer in the place," and when he says in the place was like one of the clubs in Greenwich Village, was Karen Dalton. She was a tall white blues singer and guitar player, funky, lanky, and sultry. Karen had a voice like Billie Holiday's and played guitar like Jimmy Reed and went all the way with it. Can't you just hear him saying that in his funny Dylan voice?
Yes. And it's so true. And I heard the Billie, like immediately I heard Billie Holiday. And you also think about like heroin and her voice, she does feel so tortured when she sings.
Yes.
And then that torture and pain is so like just clearly conveyed.
Oh, for sure. It's raw. It's right on the
I immediately like just fell in love with this.
Oh, that makes me so happy. But yeah, so Karen and Bob, they knew each other from the early 60s Greenwich Village folk scene where she started her career, and they performed together, and there's like just cute photos of them as really young musicians, which I love. And it's just it's so cool to kind of know that she was around and doing that, but also to me then heartbreaking because she died relatively unknown at the age of 55. Anyway, I found out about Karen Dalton probably in the early part of the 2010s. What do you call that decade?
Not the aughts, right? Because the aughts would be 2000
is like
2000.
2000. Yeah.
The 10s?
2010s. Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
the 10s.
The early 10s.
And I remember when I heard this song for the first time just being like stopped in my tracks. Like I had maybe frozen because that opening lyric of the song, that croaky yesterday, it almost feels like she's fighting back tears, or maybe that's how I received it. And it to me, it sets the tone for the rest of the tune, as do I love the pedal steel and the violin. It's so sad. Like this song, it just makes me think of the end of a relationship, that fear that you're getting. Something's on your mind, isn't it? And it's kind of like that, she is maybe trying to, bargain or think of like what else can I do to save this. But I recognize that she is, writing. Oh no, she didn't write this, but it is like a beautifully written song and beautifully performed. And one of the most gut wrenching parts is that I always look forward to because I'm, sad and I love sad things is when her voice almost breaks while she's delivering that line.
You can't make it without ever even trying. Something's on your mind, isn't it?
Oh,
I mean, it's just, yeah, I feel nostalgia like both for her life, but for her artistry and for this song even. Like it makes you, even though it's never been like a breakup song for me, like it's one of those things that I think about Karen singing her heart out to so many people, not getting to enjoy it, even though it was right there for us. But, I appreciate that eventually she got her flowers. And this is where Light in the Attic comes in. The album that this song is on, which is In My Own Time, and Light in the Attic actually re-released it in 2006 because it was originally released in the early 70s. So then when I went and looked at I had not, I don't know if I'd heard of them or not. Like it sounds familiar to me, but when I looked at their website, there was so much incredible music on their website. And one of them was, can you help me with the pronunciation? Remember our very cool leader of YMO?
Oh my God, it was really? Hiromi
tons
Hosono.
of stuff. Yeah, Harumi Hosono. A lot of his stuff they're re-releasing or releasing on Light in the Attic. And a lot of very cool compilations and other stuff. So when I saw this, I almost sent it to you, but I was like, I'll talk about it on the podcast. But it just seems like a record label that's like right up both of our alleys, which really tickles me.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, I will definitely have to like look more into that. I didn't know that. I just Googling around for now, that's how I came across the label. So now that I know Hosono is also a part of it, I will definitely check that out.
It just makes me so happy that like for Karen and for a lot of other artists who maybe were obscure in their time, they're like getting more recognition thanks to these re-releases and people rediscovering and like those music heads with a blog or a podcast or a YouTube channel, something that's like helping folks kind of learn about music that maybe didn't get enough recognition in its time. So that's fun.
No, and I'm so happy you shared this with me. And it is one of those situations where I do feel shame for not knowing about Karen, especially given the Bob connection. But I'm curious, did someone introduce you to this? Did you just hear it? I'm guessing it wasn't just on the radio, but like when did you first, do you remember the moment?
I remember someone playing it for me, playing the album for me and being really so taken. Like, I think someone actually played it for me being like, can you believe her voice? Like kind of in jest, and me being like,
oh, really?
Yeah. And like for me being like, no, I can't believe it. It's so perfect. Like I love this. And, it's like, I do get it. Like she has a really unique voice and just like Billie Holiday did,
Yeah.
Like,
and weirdly, I'm getting a little bit of Janis Joplin too.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
It's that rawness that I'm getting from.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because like that's who I think I pictured in my head.
Oh yeah.
The first time I heard her, like kind of not Janis per se, but like a Janis type figure. And then when I don't think I even saw a photo of Karen Dalton for the longest time, like a close up photo. She's beautiful.
Yeah.
And like maybe like kind of everyday type gal, but like a beauty making this, very raw, very kind of, like I said, croaky type singing. And also, I don't know if this was it, but like I used to read like Pitchfork a lot and like that's where I would find out about music. I don't do that anymore. I'm like so lazy. I just rely on you or other people to recommend music to me. I didn't watch it, but there is a documentary about her life. We can share it out in the show notes. Yeah. But that came out in 2021. So
yeah. I'm looking at a picture of her, and she reminds me, when she's younger, especially of Winnie from I think her name was Winnie from the Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. Yeah.
But
long black hair and kind of round cheeks.
Very cherubic.
Yeah.
Oh, but there's so much power in that voice.
Amen.
I know.
And I think the producer, I laughed at this, the producer for that album is named Harvey Brooks, which makes me laugh, of course, because I'm a Brooks, but also my parents have a dog named Harvey.
Oh.
So, nostalgia. Beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we can keep doing this theme over it. Like,
oh my God.
There's so many
100%.
songs that bring us there. I mean, even I think last week's episode, in a way, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like everything evokes nostalgia for me.
You know what? It's funny because I don't think everyone's that way, but you know when little kids like feel really moved by something, like they like a song or a movie or something, like I think it's not everybody, but I think that there are certain people who are just kind of touched with that.
Yeah.
To me, it's a gift. I love this feeling. I love being able to feel in this way.
Because it's almost like this appreciation, or it's a wonder, like the appreciation for the wonder of this, like the talent of this musician, the singer, the voice. There's so many things, the artistry, the just overall artistry of these people. It kind of knocks you out. And it's cool when you remember those like first moment, like those earliest moments when we've had the reaction to it, our nostalgia for these moments. But then in these cases where we're like being nostalgic for something we didn't necessarily know, but now we know because of the music. So now it's just this not artificial thing that's been created from the music, but in a way it is. But isn't that so postmodern too, that we are at once nostalgic for something that hasn't happened, but now we have our own nostalgia for what this has created in us. I feel like that is word salad.
Oh, no, perfect place to end. I love that.
So, well, this was, I don't want to say it was a fun episode.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, but it was deep thinking, deep feeling.
Yeah, a lot of deep feeling, at least for us. Hope our listeners enjoyed this as well.
I hope they enjoy our picks for sure.
Speaking of picks, do you want to tease next week's theme for us?
Oh, certainly. Next week we're going to receive good advice.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. Well, thanks for listening to Stereo with Thematica. If you like what you're hearing, please consider a review, a rating, or sharing with a friend.
And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and follow us on Instagram at Stereo Thematica, where you can share your favorite nostalgic music.
And please visit stereothematica.blog for more fun.